Hello. Happy Friday.
Word on the street is you're the man to talk to for the old dabble dabble.
The old dabble dabble, that's what they call it. Hello Mac, hello Al. Hope everyone is doing well. We need more enemies. At least 2 more regular enemies for the chapter. So, at this stage in the game, we have access to Cat's powerful smash ability that works well on snails. Leon can hit things regardless of whether they're in the air or on the ground, but he can't hit backline foes. And Dabble can hit pretty much whoever, but backline can only be hit with Spring Fling. So, Hot Air Piggle. No, the enemies are already pretty well established. It's just kind of what their niche is going to be in combat. Piggle on a balloon. What will he do? So, like, for instance, toggle on a skateboard. No, that's not one of the enemies that's that I've got ready. Okay. So, aerial opponents. We're only going to have really one true aerial opponent. Oh, hello, Willow. So sorry to hear that. I guess that happens sometimes. Hope you've been well. We're considering the pigs. I'm a little tired. It's not like I slept poor. Did I? I don't think I had to wake up in the night or anything. Night before, I did have to get up around 2, but only briefly. Let's see here. Needs tattoos. I don't know about that. I think he might be okay. What does hoggle tied to a balloon mean for a fight? Like, it pretty much just means... Well, okay, so what it means is that if you're not equipped, you can only get 1 hoggle down per round, and that's at the expense of Dabble's turn. So, if you had multiple in the air, you could be at a disadvantage, perhaps? Actually, with the way that hoggles kind of charge up, do you want to keep them in the air? You don't want to keep them in the air. Why not? Why don't you want to keep them in the air? They're worse in the air, presumably. I think that's the main idea is. Well, they're not bigger. They're the exact same size. I think you don't want to keep them in the air. You want to knock them down. Because what? Because they're just harder to block against when they do their aerial maneuver, whatever that turns out to be. Huh. Balloon gets bigger and pops? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, regular Hoggle's big thing is just he charges and attacks. No big deal. Helmet Hoggle, his big deal is if he is in the back line, he's going to buff himself and keep buffing himself until he is no longer in the back line, which actually that makes for a particularly interesting strategy. Have a weak enemy in the front so that the back Hoggles will only charge and then just pick them off with ranged moves and then knock out the weak frontliner. So you could strategize your way out of it if you are smart and the opportunity presents itself. So we'll keep that in mind. I think it's okay that some battles allow you to do that kind of stuff. So what about the balloon? What's his deal? What's his friggin' deal? Cat can't hit balloon, but that's not as much of a problem as it was in Chapter 1. Now that we're in two-partner territory, you've got a second partner who can hit enemies in the air. He is the balloon. You pop the pig and leave the balloon. I don't know. I don't want to be lazy and just say, he does the regular balloon pig thing, and that's it. It's just he's just beefed up and has a different color balloon. Dual balloons. Actually, you know what? Dual balloons is something. I kind of do like that, but I don't know exactly how we're going to manage that. But yeah, like give him 3 balloons, and yeah, you popped a balloon, but he's still up there causing mischief. And that kind of forces you to switch out to Leon so that you can still actually damage the thing that's in the air, because he's not the regular pig balloons. It's not too bad. It's just like knock him down. Cat finishes him off if you don't finish him off in one turn. You know, you can knock 1 down per turn. But then with more balloons, it's like, uh-oh. Okay, I see the problem here. All right, I've got to head down. I'll be back in a few minutes. Fingers crossed. No, we're good. We're good. Look at this. Look at this. We are in great shape, guys. Look, we're back. We're all good. We've got tons. I forgot about something. Super spicy. All right, let him go down. Might be a little bit too low. All right, looks good. I'm just gonna keep going right. There it is. That was dumb. Hey, look, I win. What if? What if? I win. Neat. Come on, give me that. Give me that. I need that call. Oh, jeez. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yes! Yes! Oh my gosh. That's it. That's it. 32 heat. Oh. Oh. It's not the worst position.
Dobbs, look out!
No!
Oh god!
No! Sorry. There we go. Okay. Oops. We're good. We're fine. Everything is great. Hotter hoggle. Okay. Okay. This is actually not too bad. This is not too bad. The mission was a success. Absolutely it was. So, balloon. Balloon is just that. Okay, perfect. And there's a popped version. Oh, that's even better. All right, so what we're gonna do is balloon. Oh, nice, look at that. Cool, great. We're gonna get balloon slash balloon. Okay. Hey, PK. Get this over. I want to cheat a bit and hide the fact that there is, in fact, nothing tying these other balloons here. I am cheating. So we kind of need to like have this one z-indexed a bit back. Three, 4, yeah, something more like that. Okay, how's our idle animation look in this state? It'll work. I do kind of want this balloon to be a little bit more. No. I mean, maybe it can be up here somewhere. Oh, I got a new category. Got a new category for you guys for the mini game. Okay, that seems all right. And then we can change the region when it's popping. All right, that said, these need to change modulation-wise. Yeah, and this is where I've got a bad setup. Oh, I've got a shader for this. Don't I? Color. All right, how does this work? How does it doesn't Sprite 3D material? Isn't there a material on this? I'm sure I've got a material on here or something. Maybe it's on here? No. How do I do the recolor? All right, stop the animation. It's called like set tint. It's on base actor. Sprite 2Ds, sub viewport / sprites. Sprite 2Ds materials. Sub viewport / sprite. Okay, this should have a material on it. Okay. Banned for a year. Okay, it's called Hue Shift. Hue Shift. And I should be able to just slap that on to this guy right here, I hope. Oh, okay. And then I have to set the color to whatever I so choose. Blue seems seasonal. Don't use grayscale. Do use grayscale? Probably use grayscale. Yeah, so it's going to convert it to grayscale. What's the new category? Oh, it's a mystery. You'll have to find out. Doesn't work as well as I thought it would. But it will work. Copy that to these two. And there we go. Blue. N64 games are added. I know that one. I know that one. Oh, it's delightfully bad. I love a good bad N64 game. It likely will be different per tier of pig. Glover! Glover? Oh, Snailbot. Okay, so this is going to be the magic. Okay. Oh, this is going to be... It's going to be a little bit different. The regular Piggle is not that bad. Though it does something somewhat peculiar. Chapter... wait, no. I need enemy directory. Okay, so check out Piggle Balloon. On damage... When it takes sharp type damage, and there's only 3 attacks of type sharp in the entire game so far. When it takes sharp themed damage, it replaces the enemy with a Piggle. Yeah, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different here. It's gonna be a little bit different. Instead, we're gonna have a special thing that happens to Hoggle Balloon. Instead of getting replaced, it's going to be similar to what we do. What's the fold all? Fold all. It's gonna be similar to how Bernie has an action that he takes. Or Bumbleweed. No, it's going to be more like Bumbleweed. Call self move. So Hoggle Balloon is going to call self move if he gets hit with sharp damage. And that is going to be a special attack called Hoggle Pop Balloon, which is going to check his extra data bit or extra data property. In the case that the property is 0, that's counting the number of balloons popped. Once it hits 3, we are instead going to do the normal replace enemy setup. There needs to be a slight delay, I think. On damage sharp. Because Piggle Balloon, he like sits in the air for a bit, right? On damage. When does on damage get called? Okay, check damage effects. 3! Oh, 3! Heck yeah. Okay, first get hit, then wait for half a second, and then check the damage effects. Okay, there we go. There we go. So on damage works perfectly. And that it's going to happen half a second after he takes damage. It's 1 more than 2, it's 2 more than 1, and it's just the same as 3. That's what they say, or something. I don't know. All right, so Chapter 3. We're going to have a new move. It's going to be similar to what Bernie does with... Is it Counter Flame? Is that the on damage that Bernie's got? Yeah, no, that's use revenge move. What does Bumbleweed have? That's what we want to see. Is his special, this one right here, lose Tumbleweed. So we're gonna say Hoggle Pop Balloon. And that is going to go on Hoggle as his on-take sharp damage. Hey, you Pikachu. What a weird idea from Nintendo. The children wish to talk to Pikachu. You've never heard... It came with a microphone. The gameplay loop was you talk to Pikachu and give him commands. And this was in the N64 era, so you can imagine how good the detection was and what they were able to do with it. Could have been better. All right, Hoggle Pop Balloon. Extra data is number of balloons popped. So, increase that by 1 to start with. If we have just hit 3, well, then we're out of balloons to pop, my friend. You need to do a different action. How does that work? There's something I can do to chain attacks, I believe. Here we go. Execute a different action. Such as replace. That's really what we want to look at, is the replace enemy. Where do we call that? Anywhere. Nowhere else. So it's just battle actions.replace enemy. Okay, well then let's do that instead. Okay, so this is gonna be a little bit weird because I'm doing it without binding it. All right, replace source. Wait, what? Why do I need the damage instance for this? Oh, that just gets passed into anything. That's called from a. Okay, so this can just be null. What else do we? Source and new type unit. Does source matter here? Also does not matter here. Great. New unit type name. He becomes a regular Hoggle. Just a regular old Hoggle. Now this is assuming he's not dead here. Let's keep that in mind. Otherwise, so it can be 1 or 2 here. It should not be possible, but let's cover the case where no, we don't need that. In these other cases, we are going to just hide the balloon. Sprite is going to be source.actor.getNode or null. We'll be safe here. Balloon 2 or balloon 3. If sprite.visible equals false. Simple. And then do the same for this one, but make it balloon 3. And that might be all we need. That might be enough. And then I guess we can just take the regular balloon pig, enemy pig dive bomb, and leave that there. Okay, that seems fine. Let's see if that works. Give me one of these. Give me that dang pig fight. All right, let's see what happens. Here we go. Fighting a pig. Ska market. Perfect. All right, he looks great, first of all, except can't help but notice these balloons sure do look red to me. What is this? Mario Kart tracks. Sky Partay. All right, I'm gonna hit pop 1. Okay, good. All right, pop 2 at once. Or better yet. Oh, I missed. Oh, I missed. Sky Garden. Okay, that works. Wait, we have to confirm. That looks fine. Yeah, all right, cool. He works. Incredible. Incredible. Except for, why are his balloons red? Why are his balloons red? Well, it's got to be because this is getting changed, right? So we can't get away with just hue shifting here. It feels like we should be able to get away with hue shifting here. but no, we cannot. But what we can do... material. Okay, what we can do is just use a different balloon. Just use a freaking different balloon. Open image. Banjo-Tooie. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Okay. I feel like this will get us a more accurate color for what we want anyway. Just like the different colors of balloons in Dabble Worlds, right? Right? See, it's a reference. I guess we'll use yellow or green. Yellow or green. We're probably going to end up using both, but for now, let's go yellow. I don't remember. I don't think there were green balloons in Dabble Worlds. There were red, blue, and yellow, right? Red would just float along. Blue would just kind of oscillate vertically, and yellow would oscillate horizontally, I think. All right, there we go. Balloons are ready. All three of these. Region... Oh, shoot. Just realized how this is going to be a pain. Balloon region rect. Right there. I only want to affect... Alright. I want to change this. I want to change this. Currently, this is... 200. I want to change just the X value. No. Monitor did a thing. Okay. So then I need to go over to hurt, and this should say, it's broken, you gotta fix it, and I'll say, no, it's fine. Oh, yeah, I didn't need it. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Hello, hello. Okay. So what we need to do here is we need to make a little bit of a change to the property that we're setting here. Decrease, it's under rewards, not under regular commands. And we delete this and change it to 200. Oh, wait, that's not. Yes. I will be right back. Why would you want less in 64 games? Yeah, this is not the right property, is it? Balloon, region rect dot X? No. There's a way to do this. Hold on. Sub-property or something. Yeah, what's the syntax? It is colon. Okay, that's what I thought. Then I would have expected something. Well, I can't set that value though. There's no value. Type nil. Region rect. Huh. Yeah, that's, oh, okay. So it should be region rect :X. It doesn't seem to recognize that as a valid thing. What's the property type? It's a rect2, which has property. Doesn't it have a property? Ooh. Oh, maybe it's dot position dot X. Position :X. Okay, there we go. There we go. We got there. Okay. So that's 0 by default. That's the one. Okay. This was a lot of roundabout setup. Okay, so now we have regular and hurt. Good. And I think that should also affect the base. Well, we'll find out if that affects the base pig actor or not. No. As a matter of fact, it doesn't seem to have at all. Regardless, that allows us to adjust the region rect of these three without touching the Y value. By just adjusting that. 250, right. There we go. Okay, so now we should have blue balloons. These pigs, looks great. All right, it's good to me. Done. Okay, that took a little bit, but we got there in the end. What's our category now? Pikmin 1 parts. You're gonna have to win. Cactite. Cactite. Okay, so here's what he looks like today. We could adjust this so the cactus is actually a separate sprite. Would make sense for spikes to fire out. That seems like a reasonable sort of attack here. We'll give it some thought. This guy's going to be, I think, mostly just the standard enemy. He does have a blocking animation, so we can do that for free because that's already done on the regular version of this enemy. But I would like for him to have a different attack than the typical guy where he does a little backflip. That's what the existing one does. It does a backflip and then he might block or he might not. So what are we gonna do with this guy? Little needly move. See, it's weird. Chapter 3 TTYD does not have regular enemies. It's got a weird potpourri setup. Because that's sort of your Colosseum chapter, but it's kind of themed as a wrestling arena, a wrestling ring, a championship of fighters. There it is. And so you get a weird eclectic mix of enemies, whereas in Chapter 2, everything kind of makes sense for the area. In Chapter 1, it mostly makes sense for the area. In Chapter 4, it's very sensible, but Chapter 3 is just all these weird miscellaneous enemies. So it's hard to describe it an analog. Of what types of enemies would be appropriate based on that. Bug Fables Chapter 3 is the beehive, and to a certain degree the desert leading up to the beehive. So what does that do for us? Yeah. Yeah, like I think your main thing is going to be get close and smack it. Hmm. It's okay. Oh, it's just some fluff. Yeah, I'll throw that away.
And find all of them over there. Oh, it's almost out of battery.
Oh, do you need to plug it in?
It's on red.
I'll get the charger. Plug here. There's a plug here. There we go. You can set it wherever you want. Just won't be able to reach it. That's far as it'll reach.
I'll put it right there.
All right. Okay. Whew. Let's see. Yeah, let's just focus on just needly attacks, I guess. Do we still let him block like his cave cousin? Hmm. Should be like just a needle barrage. What does that look like? Just a bunch of little. It could just be a bunch of very close together. Posey! Don't eat that. You're gonna eat it anyway, aren't you? She is gonna eat it anyway. Oh, Posey. Thank you. Posey's defluffing her toys. Just ripping it all out and eating it. Let's see here. Posey. I'm watching you, Posey. Watching you. Let's see here. Needle, 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 needle. Let me get out the sequel console here. Let me take a look at our categories. So they're all weighted. So the idea is if everything has the same weight, then they can be evenly retrieved when you ask for a minigame. If something has a weight of 1 versus 0, 1 higher than everything else, it will be twice as likely. 1 less will be half as likely. It's powers of 2. Oh, geez, it's all over the place. Mario Sunshine is currently at a -3 compared to the base 0. Oh, geez, yeah. SNES games and N64 are currently at weight 2. Mm-hmm. So that's 8. 10, 11, 12, 13, 17, 18, 19, 20, 122. Oh yeah, it's currently looking at like about a 2% chance of the new category showing up. Because because people have spammed cat more on a lot of the categories. So those actually show up quite frequently, specifically SNES games and N64 games. All right. 5 damage? Ooh, yeah, what if it's like 5 damage times 1? Or 1 damage times 5? Or times 4? So it's like, if you hit the block, you're not taking any damage. Cactus! But if you miss the block, you're taking a lot of damage. I think that's reasonable. I think that's a reasonable attack. So we'll need to have a projectile to fire, a little spiky projectile. For now, let's just work on his attack, which is going to be heavily based on rock throw. Thank you. Things are a little bit weird up here tonight. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to send out 5 needles. So we're going to say he does a backflip. She sure is. She sure is. Fire tween. Wait 1 second. And then for I in, let's say 5. Let's do 5. I like that you can do this very short syntax. All right, then append the following actions. Play the sound, add the sprite, fire the tween. Wait, See, each one I want to independently arrive. That feels like they each need to be their own individual action queue. So this is going to... Yeah. This is going to be silly here. Append a new action queue. Insert it like here. Where each individual action cue is going to play a sound, create a sprite, fire a tween. Well, it's going to do something along those lines. Play sound, cue hurt actions, delete sprite. Yeah, the whole thing here. But a little bit different. Because we're also going to add a delay at the beginning. Based on the index. Let's say a quarter of a second. Something like that. This tween style is very wrong, but don't worry about it. Also, the sprite holder, I do believe we're going to have a separate sprite holder for each one of them. Okay, get rid of these. Somewhere in there the blocking is going to happen. Maybe. Let's leave the blocking out for now. So then at this point, execute this function that does this. All right, we're gonna see if this works. All right, so let's give him this action here. Let's see if that works. Let's fight two of them. See how it turns out. All right, he looks fine. He's going to be throwing a very slow projectile for now. That was good. I need to turn on... All right, so far, pretty good. I need to turn on mirror block on the damage. I don't know if this ever worked the way I expected it to. But we're going to find out. But yeah, I like the idea that this guy hits a lot of times, but not for very much. That worked. So as long as you land the first block, all subsequent blocks work. So if I... Ooh. That's noteworthy that if I miss the first one, the second one... Mirror block does not seem to be... It mirrors a successful block, but it's not mirroring a failed block. Gets free block. Okay, yeah, I don't think I ever accounted for that. If it's guarding, or you get a free block, but not both. Oh, okay. Alright, so this is for actually determining the damage here. Alright, so the damage instance is Mirror Block. Oh, yes, yes, I see now. I see now. So I want the damage instance and the turn damage list. Is that correct? Yes, it is. Get mirror block status. I want damage instance, and the other one's actually, I think, a global. All right, this is going to return either 0, 1, or -1. So first, let's change it to work exactly the same as it does today. Well, basically. Basically this. Okay. Yep. Okay. Okay, is it a mirror block attack? If not, return 0 for use default behavior. Otherwise, is a, let's see, is a follow-up damage, which is say, is this the first chain of damage or one of the subsequent ones? And if it's not one of the subsequent ones, return default behavior, 0. Otherwise, if you guarded at the beginning, return 1 if you did a successful guard, else return -1 for you failed the initial guard. All right, so now let's find all these instances and work these here. All right. How does this work? Guarded. If this is false, why does this need to be exclusive or? You're guarding, or you get, it's a mirror block. See, this would currently equal, this would do that, but like. Okay, I won't look. If you are guarding, not defending, but like you actually landed a timed guard. This is really weird. I don't think this needs to be exclusive or. Block success equals thank you. Thank you. It's not that I'm saying anything useful. But I know how much everyone loves to hear me just yammer. Alright, this right here. The Might Rock. So this is set to automatically animate, which makes it spin. Makes sense. So we're going to duplicate this and make Might Needle. Might Needle is going to be very different. Meat Satchel. Okay, Might Needle. I mean, it could just be like, no. Well, maybe. What was the category? Pikmin 2 treasures. I bet it's a hot dog. I bet it's a hot dog. Just based on my knowledge of how Pikmin 2 names items. It could be a sausage. Hang on. Pikmin 2. Meat Satchel. Drumroll, please. It is a barbecued sausage. Might Needle does not animate. It does not really need a collision shape. What would be great is replace the texture with a canvas texture. And just make it like a little needle. There we go. There's our needle. Next, we need to adjust the physics on it a bit. It needs to be a much faster firing and much lower down arc. So currently it goes up to 2 and then down to 0.5 from a start of 0.5. We're going to bring it up to 0.6, just barely go up at all. Let's see. Yes. I remembered. Toss time. Default 1.0 because that's what what our existing code does. So that we can replace while we figure out the actual amount. Cool. Now we can reduce this to something faster and make sure the needle looks all right. Not too big or anything. That works. Okay, I think that one is pretty well set up. Kectite done. Nice. Huzzah! Okay, next up. Do we take another stab at Melissa? Or the Dread Molsk? Molsk needs to be, I think, a 3D entity with 2D sprites. That's going to be a weird one. Snakes have been drawn, but they need to be further animated, I think. Let's make an attempt at Melissa. I'm trying not to just straight up make a Monty Mole. That's a lot of the problem here. Right, wrong. Oh, here we go. It's not what I'm wanting to go with. We had Old Lady Mole. There's Leon. We had angrier young mole. A few different attempts. A few different things to try here. This is not plugged in. You just gotta believe. Okay, mole. I think Bottles the mole. From Banjo-Kazooie. Like, hardly any head. Oh, geez, he got weird in, what do you call it? Nuts and bolts. Like, the top of his head is pretty much just the goggles. So he's pretty much just, like, nose and then, like, you know, the face part. And then he's got it kind of, he does one of these. And then just glasses. Just big old, less asymmetrical glasses. And they're just big old glasses here. Big old goggles. And then it's like his eyes are just huge because of the magnification. Oh, that looks great right there. That's a character right there. Okay, it's not quite that thick, but it's like that. Now, are they glasses or do they strap around the back? They look like they're just glasses, which is to say they're just a pair of triangles next to each other. And like that's him. Yeah, that's definitely him. That's pretty much the entirety of Goggles, Bottles the mole. This actually comes out a little bit further. Like that. And then he has like just like a checkerboard shirt for some reason. And big old hands. Big old crab claw hands. Beautiful. And then amorphous polygon feet. Horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. Yeah, the big claws don't help. Part of me wonders if it would be easier to 3D model something and then trace a projection of it. Just to get angles better. It's because it's like I'm like, well, what if he was rotated slightly in the front? It's like, well, I can't really do that because I'm not very good at just regular drawing. So it doesn't work super well. Old lady as a character there's something to that. But I do want her to be a little bit more absolutely unhinged. But that could be represented more in dialogue than in character design. So this is doable. This is workable. What would you give her? Give her like a very gentle little checkerboard pattern. I kind of want, instead of dress, the classic boots, classic amorphous boot blob. That still leaves me with a dress, doesn't it? How would you do a hand on back? You know, wanna. How do we get? Where's your shoulders start? Just look like you're just going like. It's weird. It's weird and awkward. Like, if this is her arm, if this is where her armhole is. My fingertips would be pointing down behind my back, and my thumb wrapping around towards the front. Invisible hand behind. Well, that just looks even worse. That just looks awful. Can't be done. Can't be done. Simply cannot function. All right. Take her head. Take her entire head. Move it down here. Okay, that's better. That's better character design right there. That was easy. That's a much more interesting character design right there. Does she still have her arm here? Actually, that could work. There's something to that. Okay. Something's coming together here. Kind of. Close. Where's her other arm? Just kind of like dangling back there. That doesn't look half bad. Okay. We might be able to work with this. Okay, yeah, like tapering shape. That's quite a silhouette. But all right, fine. Let's roll with it. Let's roll with it. Slightly taller than. Jeez, there's a lot going on in this. There's a lot going on in this character art. We'll see. Okay. This seems pretty good. We already thank you for 5 months. And for that Dobbs W Lizard. Is it gonna say it? I can't tell if it said it over the music. We already thank you for your continued patronage. That is almost a year. That's right, Theron. Okay, we'll do that kind of talking. Maybe we can drag and stretch an open mouth underneath the closed mouth. You've been offline for 20 minutes. That's ridiculous. And you were wondering why I wasn't saying anything. I want the glasses to be removable. I don't know what that's going to look like yet. So we're gonna make sure that's doable. We're gonna make sure those are separate layers. Molma. No, that's Molissa. She's absolutely nuts. If the nose could wiggle a little bit, that would also be good. So that's going to be a separate layer, but then it's got to be over the glasses. It's doable that way. It's doable. But this will look very strange. I guess the jaw, you almost want the jaw to be able to move a bit. But that feels like we're getting into some ridiculous territory. I want that to come down a little bit faster, don't I? It's fine. I was trying to get my usual lizard hello, and I didn't have it anymore. It's primed to sub last time, so it did not. It's gonna look really weird without a nose. Oh gosh. Okay, so there's the first layer, right? Cool. Next up. Next is glasses, and then the nose over that. Okay, there's glasses. And then nose and face here. Okay. Cool. All right, so there's our main face. The classic amorphous blob feet. I can't help myself. It just feels correct. Cane separate from arm. What's the color of the... It's like her whole arm. She's wearing like sleeveless here. What's the deal with this? Tennis balls. We'll give that some consideration. I think we could copy that completely to the other side. But I want to. It might look a little bit weird, but I think it'll be okay. Is she wearing sleeves? Where are the sleeves cut off? Something like that. Lumpy arm. Okay, the body. Not bad. Yeah, I thought about that, but I'm not sure if I love it. Everybody's wearing just amorphous blob shoes. Okay, a cane. We're gonna go with just like a little, just a very standard, or maybe, I don't want it to be too detailed. That's the big thing. So I think just a standard. There we go. Okay, I think that's all the individual pieces we need. Yeah, because we're going to duplicate the arm, we're going to duplicate the foot. We're going to clean up the line art a little bit here and there. Because I can't leave well enough alone. Moma. Maybe that can be what other people call her. You know what? Maybe that'll be her official name. Moma. It's a good name. I'll admit it. When you're right, you're right. Oh, I've got a eraser tool. There we go. All right, so let's get classic. All right, shoe. Pink slippers. All right, what in the world is she gonna be wearing here? Sky blue. She's gonna go down when I go down. Okay, okay. Well, I may be calling it a little bit early. A little bit of an earlier night. Well, again, we don't want to go too detailed. Solid colors are really good for this kind of stuff, because when we start adding too much texturing, things get a little bit hard to read. You know what I mean? Seems fine. All right, mole color. Yeah. I think we do want to have a little bit of just like, oops, on the wrong layer. A little bit of mole claw. Okay, great. Looking so good. All right. Nose. Oh, this one's gonna be awkward. I'm gonna have to kind of do this one a little bit manually. The coloring here. Because, yeah, the rest of the face is going to be handling a lot of that. Okay, very nice, very nice. We will do the glasses next, sure. Vaguely that. Sure. Yeah. Looks great. Okay, now we got a lot going on in this layer. Face. Just start with that. There we go. That fills in quite nicely. What are we doing here? Feeling red. Contrasty. Hair. I'm gonna go with a nice wiry gray. Dry bristles. Lots of little bits of there we go. That's a good little effect right there. All right, as for this one, that seems fine. Just some gentle shading there. And then here, this one's going to be a little bit trickier. We got to watch out for how the nose layer interacts. Also, I need to have a different nose for when she is like taking damage or something in battle. Okay. No shading on the nose. That's going to make it easier to reproduce for later stuff. All right. There we go. Melissa. Leon for scale. She's very wide for a partner. I think it's good. Gives her a unique silhouette. But actually, now we can move her head around as we see fit. So it's not set in stone or anything. If we want to make her a little bit more upright. But I think the low head works. There's gonna be one here and then one kind of behind as a back layer. You have to remember that they need to be animating, and so if they're like over, like let's say I had like the dress sort of draped over partially, then that's got to get animated, and that's gonna be bad. We're not gonna do that. Okay, a variant of this right here. Wherein she is not happy. I mean, that's good enough. That'll work. I mean, that could be for tired, like when if she's under the effect of poison, then we can roll with that. And then the color is going to be pretty much the same as this layer. Which is really handy. Because pretty much we just did this little bit to cover her mouth. Like when she has an open mouth. And speaking of, we need to do that. So that one's going to be not too bad. Okay, so the idea is it's going to sort of do one of these. Okay, great. Let's split it apart into its important pieces here. Save that. All right. Arm, foot, head, part one, glasses, can't see without my glasses, mouth, both faces, there we go. That's it. That's it, buddy. She's been completely torn apart. Oh. Glad to have that done. Well, it's a small piece done, but still. All right, partners. Fox, get out of here, Fox. Molma. Why not? Okay, I need to... let's just make a copy of Cat. Oh, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to... Alright, whatever. Alright. Mole. Mole, 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 mole. Oh. I need to actually save it as a PNG. Mole. What? How did... Okay, we're good. We're good. Moa. Wow. Looks great. Check out those glasses. Incredible. All right. Cat for scale. Get out of here, cat. Alright, well, she's gonna need to be a bit smaller, I think. A little bit taller than Cat is fine. We'll figure out what we need to do here. Let's see here. Let's see here. Shoe. Okay, so I'm going to position the shoe so that it pivots at a certain point. More ankly than would otherwise happen. Okay. Put the feet down. Near foot, far foot. Wherever you are, foot. It's going to get scaled down slightly. No 2D. The head pivot point. The head. Let's make sure this pivot point seems about right. I think it needs to be more like that. Yes. She says yes. All right. Glasses, face, and mouth. All right, so glasses, easy. They're right here. Face. A little bit more tricky because I have to make sure that it's able to be swapped out with the other one. Mouth, right there. All right. Let's see here. Face is actually going to come. It's going to be in this order. Hmm. Great. That'll be the base scale. All right, looks good. Body needs arm near pivot, which also includes an arm. That needs to be below the head. I think. We'll see what we decide on. Arm far, pivot is over here. The lower Z index. And higher. There we go. That looks good. And then, okay, the cane. Where does it pivot from? Is it the arm? I assume so. And then we'll just see what happens with that. That's gonna be tricky. Okay, just take this arm, order it up, and then the cane back down. There we go. That's how you do that. Okay, get cat out of here. Melissa, Mulma. I think it'll work. Okay. Always before doing anything, make unique and check in code. What's this mole's name? Government name is, this is Melissa. But everybody calls her Mulma as of earlier tonight. So that's canon. Okay, managing relations. Delete, 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 delete. Cool. you doing up there? What are you doing up there? Get down from there. That'll work. They probably will get some tweaks, but I'm not expecting a big redo. I'm not sure if budget is the right word for it. Time budget, perhaps. Effort budget. Art is not my specialty. So if I am to make something that is, to me, good looking, it takes a significant amount of time. More than I'm putting into anything, really. Like, if I get any of these things to the point where I'm like, okay, that's the right idea, then I'm like, okay, stamp of approval. Because I simply cannot devote the amount of time I want to the art. But since I'm doing all the art, it has a very consistent style, which I think is important. Mole Maw. Yeah, the more I look, I feel like I want more textures going on with it, but I don't want her to just look cluttered. I think that was the problem with a lot of the early attempts at getting this character drawn out from like a few weeks ago. Is there was too much going on. All right, so I'll need to work on actually doing all the animations for this. We're gonna need the typical 6 or so animations. Idle, talking, jumping, poisoned, asleep, hurt. Oh, and a dying animation. It is intentional in the sense that I am drawing it that way and I'm keeping it. If I could draw better, I would. So it is intentional footnote. Okay, I think we're gonna go ahead and start trying to find a raid target. Because... Okay. Because I need to get her to bed, and she's not going down until I am done up here, apparently. So my plan is we're gonna end stream, and I'm gonna take care of that. Let's see here. Let's go. Germ Dove. Germ Dove. Germ Dove. He's doing Jackbox community night. So that works really well. Yeah, you guys know him. Most off-stream time on this project, I'm spending that on making the different areas of Chapter 3. I've got a huge list of locations like this. This is my Chapter 3 room list. And a lot of these haven't even been created yet. And none of them are done. Testing. I would love to get... like... testing is... like, that takes a lot of you guys' time. So I want to make sure that there's a significant amount of progress and content ready to be tested. But on the flip side, I also want to make sure that the areas are getting tested really well, you know? So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Let's go over to Germ Dove. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. I will see you around.